Look out. The needles are out.
Hey, when I got the knitting needles out,
It's a thing. Look out if she's got those knitting needles out, people. Hey. Hi.
hi.
What a day.
Impeachment numero dos.
There were some chickens, and not in a good way today.
Man, I mean, it's been all day affair of just, wow. What a day.
Total wow. It was a historic, absolutely historic day. Not necessarily in the way we were thinking, like a good way, but in some ways it was good. We had 10 Republicans stand up and find their spine.
That was a huge thing, and never, I guess, in this type of thing have that many of an opposing party done that for impeachment. It's really crazy.
The second one.
Yeah, heart dose. No, it was so
in less than a year.
I remember we were just saying a year ago today, you and I, just as friends, way before coronakitchen, were just
before the virus,
horribly disturbed by the last impeachment, and I'm glued to the news and watching it in real time, and it's like it's so hard when you see representatives go, let's not do it because he'll learn from this and he'll never do it again. And it's like,
let's move on.
I mean, I don't know about you, but it's a lesson in bad relationships. It's just like these types of people don't change. They have to be held accountable. They have to.
Well, and so does the whole idea of what got us here, which is white supremacy and that whole, and the institutionalizing of it, the saying, oh, we know slavery happened, but we're not going to deal with the repercussions of it or how we've behaved since then. And so that little sore's been festering and festering. And so now we have the worst domestic terrorist group in our country is white supremacy, which Christopher Wray warned us about a year ago.
And this has been centuries in the making. Let's face it. And we've created our own American ISIS. So
we have to deal with it, and hopefully we will. And we'll have the first conviction of an impeachment in our history, which means, it says to not only our own people, but to people across, the pond, to our allies, that we take this seriously and we will not stand for it, and we're going to fix it.
Well, it shows the world, like, okay, in a real democracy, in a republic that actually, didn't want something like this to happen, and this was their greatest fear, how do we readjust? How do we amend? How do we roll with this to improve upon ourselves? Because we're a work in progress. We're a young country still, and this is just one of our saddest, lowest points. And we gotta rebound, and thank God we have a lot of new energy coming in, and we gotta beat this virus, and we gotta hold these people accountable for absolute crimes against the republic.
Well, this is what I say. If you're just going to say unity, and I'm sure that he's learned his lesson, and they all have, then why don't we just let everybody out of prison?
All I have to say about that, and I responded this way on social media all day long, which was, okay, I'm all for unity and kumbaya, okay? However, if you don't hold people accountable, how can there be unity? There is no unity if you don't have justice. You just can't, it can't be done. So get over it, face the truth, and let's get through this.
Let's get going.
Let's get busy. Somebody
posted.
I'm wearing all my RP stuff today because I can't help it.
Woo! Okay, well, we're making IMPEACHZZA tonight.
Dos.
Yes. So we're. This is what I've done ahead of time before you guys got here. David made the pizza dough, which is the pizza dough we've made before on the show. So
and
if you
haven't made your pizza dough at least 15 times since you first made it.
It's really easy and it's really good. Okay, but if you don't do that,
it's a winner.
I don't know if you all know that you can go to places like Whole Foods, to places that make pizza, and they will sell you the dough. They even have it at Trader Joe's. It's not great, but it's okay. So you can do that if you want to have, pizza dough. I already put my pizza stone in the oven because that's the way I like to make my pizza. So it's been in there and it's heating up. I did the potatoes already. So they're sliced thin. So I'll show you that. They're sliced thin.
How did you slice them?
What's that?
How did you slice them?
I sliced them by hand, but you could use a mandolin if you want. They're about 1/8 of an inch thick, okay. I would say. Okay. And then I steamed them in some broth. You can use vegetable broth if you're vegetarian. Obviously, our favorite one is still the same one, Better Than Bouillon. They make a phenomenal vegetable broth, roasted vegetable broth. I used chicken stock, but I prefer to use a broth to do the potatoes. They soak it up and they really up-level the taste of the potato. Just make sure they're salted well.
This is all new to me, Debriana. I have never you've upped my broth game immeasurably. I don't think about that. Before I started doing this with you, I just use water and everything to cook everything, you know what I mean? And I never thought about making it more interesting, and it really changes the flavor.
It really changes the flavor. So I didn't use a whole lot. I kind of more or less steamed them. The water barely covered the top of the potatoes. You only want them to get fork tender. It really should only take about 7 minutes.
Okay.
I do, you know me, I saved the potato and chicken stock out, and I'll put it in the freezer in my stock pot in there with all my vegetable blends, and I'll use that to make broth, chicken stock later.
When you describe daily what you keep in your freezer, one can only imagine how large a freezer this must be.
It's an addition to my house. No, it's not. It's a regular size freezer, but I make broth on a regular basis. So there you go.
So you use it. It's moving out. It's moving in.
It's going out.
Okay.
That's how it goes. Okay. Then I caramelized some onions. So I had sort of 3 smallish, medium red onions. So that's what I used. When I caramelize them, I put half olive oil, half butter. And then I sprinkled about 1/2 teaspoon of sugar on them to help them caramelize.
Yum.
Then salt and pepper. And then here they are.
Look at that. How long did it take to achieve that?
I would say on a medium flame, about 10 minutes-ish.
Okay.
Yeah, 10 or 15.
Okay.
So yeah, and they're really good. I also like to deglaze my pan with the frying pan with a little bit of white wine. You don't have to, but I like that.
Okay, that's like the way I like onions. Like I hate raw onions personally.
I do too.
But that way, man, those are good.
They're really good. Okay, so those are my toppings. Other than the ricotta, I had some ricotta in the freezer that I made a while back on the show. So it's in the container, and I'm going to use that also on the pizza. So when these potatoes were done, I drained them out of the broth. And then I left them on the heat for a little bit longer until they dried out a little bit. Like they lost some of their moisture.
So I can only assume this is Peggy. Smallish medium, is that bigger than puny in reference to the onion.
Why, yes. Yes, it is. It is bigger than puny. They weren't what I would call puny. They were smallish.
Smallish. Okay.
Which is another term. It's another Manciniism. Okay. So now I'm kind of small chopping. It's not quite mincing, but kind of is. One pretty big clove of garlic. You know, this part can be up to you. If you like garlic, then add more. But this is a pretty good sized clove. And I'm going to toss that with my potato.
Okay.
I have fresh rosemary. I think I'm going to use, I would say, about a tablespoon of rosemary. So this was 3 small potatoes.
Okay.
Not, well, smallish.
Were they, what kind of potatoes?
They were out of my garden.
I don't know what they are. Well, what are they?
So they were whatever grew, but you know, I don't think it matters. You can use Yukon Golds if you want a sweeter potato.
Okay.
I'll use a russet if that's what you have.
Okay.
So I'm just going to chop up some of this fresh rosemary, and I would say that's about a tablespoon. And that's going to go on my potatoes.
Someone's asking, can you use red potatoes? Sure.
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 Sure. And then I already checked these potatoes. They have salt on them. I'm just going to toss them with a little olive oil.
That looks good.
Yeah, I know, right? We could stop here.
A lot of Americans, I think, don't have potato on pizza. It's not a normal thing, but it's so
My
good.
husband loves it.
I love it. Yay.
David says he loves it.
He loves it. He spent time in Italy, and that was his favorite thing over there, was that white pizza.
Hey, I have something to tell you. You're not going to believe it. So
What?
when I come up with these crazy posts, you know, I'm looking all over the internet for images or just things between you and I or whatever the case may be. And so I thought, I'm going to see if there is a Pizzeria Mancini in Napoli. And guess what? I found one. And I was going to show you. And I'll probably post it when you do the recipe. But oh my God, it exists.
That's funny. Well, when I was doing some research for my show.
Look at that. Pizzeria Mancini. There it is. Napoli. Like the heart of where pizza originated, you know?
Our love affair with pizza in Napoli.
I know.
Just so you know, I'm stripping some time off a few, you know, for fresh time. Okay. I got to go to my garden, so I'm just stripping the leaves off.
Okay.
That's probably about a teaspoon of fresh thyme.
Someone's saying mashed potato pizza. Is that a thing? We have that.
I have not made it.
I can't say that I've made it.
Or seen it. but you could try it and tell us how it is.
I mean, if you put it in little patties or something, maybe you could make it work. I don't know. You'll have to experiment and get back to us.
Yeah. I would think, you know, you'd want a little more texture on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. My ricotta is stiff. Like it's not a soft one, so I'm just gonna loosen it up. If you buy it and it's, you know, loose, a spreadable is what I want to say, then you don't have to add any cream, but I'm gonna add a little cream so that I can spread it on top of the dough.
Because yours was homemade, and when you normally buy it in like a tub, you know, it's much wetter.
Yeah. So that's got a teaspoon of fresh thyme in it, and I'm just going to taste it.
Thyme ricotta.
I know. I'm just going to add a smidge of salt. A smidge, Peggy. It's a smidge.
A smidgy.
You know, taste it. See what you have to add till it tastes good.
You gotta trust your senses. The sense of taste usually leads you in the right direction.
It will. All right. So those are the 3 things there, and then I have grated cheese in the fridge.
Mhm.
So that's basically all that's going to go on this pizza: onion, potato, and ricotta, and cheese. That's it.
It's
so
simple.
Yep, I have three cups of shredded cheese. This was Toscano and Gouda, because that's what I had.
Yum.
And my husband is showing off his pizza dough.
Look at that. Look at that gorgeousness. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty. All right, so I'm going to get the pizza stone out of the oven. It's probably hot by now. I usually leave it in there about 30 minutes at about 425, 450.
Okay.
And I get it.
Okay, you ready?
And then I like to sprinkle on top of it before I put the dough, corn grits.
Key note to everybody watching this: you must sprinkle something that is gritty and enables the dough to slide off. Otherwise, you're going to be SOL. Trust us.
Yeah. So yeah, and I can tell the pizza stone is hot enough because the gritty is smoking.
Yes, and
dough is.
I use cornmeal a lot, also.
Yeah, I mean that's it. Cornmeal or something like that. Oh my God, this dough is phenomenal. You did a great job, Hus.
Why, thank you.
I got to tell you, since making your dough in this fashion, it's so fun to punch it when you get to punch it before the second rise. Seamus and Ronan love to punch the dough now, and
great.
They've been enjoying it.
Good. Well, I am not a pizza thrower, just because my namesake obviously is a pizza place. I do not throw it. Okay, so now it's on the pizza stone, and I'm gonna take the ricotta and spread that around.
Okay. Can we see? Oh, goody. Okay.
Yeah. Handy cam's coming in.
You don't put olive oil down. You just put the cheese down.
Yeah, I'm just putting this down. Well, there's oil on top of the potatoes.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
So, I don't know. I just didn't want it to get too greasy. And so that's the base right there.
Okay.
Then I'm going to take my caramelized onions right here. These are cool enough to handle, and spread those around. This will only be in the oven about, maybe 10 minutes. So that's why things have to be cooked ahead of time, because they're not really going to cook in the oven.
And also what people must understand too is the toppings go on top of the cheese. I have seen so many people do it the wrong way. The toppings go on top of the cheese.
Yes.
I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but don't forget.
So I'm just spreading the onions around a little bit. Then I'm going to add the grated cheese on top. Now here remember we were talking about the is everything an art project with you?
Yes.
Spread to the end.
Yeah.
I cannot stand it if the cheese doesn't go to the end of the crust. No, it makes me mad. So I try to cook the cheese all the way to the edges.
Well, see, you found the right person. Some people like the dough to have a crust that's plain so they can dip it in something or eat it, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I can go either way, honestly. I can go either way on that. It depends on the quality of the dough. If it's not the best dough, then I definitely want it to go to the edge. But if it's super great dough, I don't mind if it doesn't, because I'll still eat it anyway.
Because it's delicious.
It's delicious. And your dough is so good. I mean, you could make bread rolls out of that. There's so many things you could make out of that dough.
Yep, I agree. It's a really good recipe. I hope you all try it.
Yeah.
All right, so I think I did it. I think I got all the potatoes on there. So you see that's just the right amount of potatoes. Three smallish.
That's a really hearty pizza, but it's not as crazy filling as you would think. I mean, it's really light with thinly sliced potatoes, and they're delicious.
Yeah, I just threw that little bit back on there. Okay. Yum.
You ready to fly it in?
My hands are greasy now from handling the potatoes, but David's going to put it in the oven. And
you guys have a pizza peel, right?
Oh, to take it off? No.
Well, how do you put it in now? Oh, you've already put it on the thing, but when you take it out, do you use a pizza peel, or what do you do?
No, we just cut it on the pizza stone.
So you take the stone out. Okay.
Yeah, when we take the stone out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And so I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes. And generally what I like to do is I have it's not really a pizza peel. It's a really big spatula. And I slide it underneath and lift up the pizza to make sure that the crust is finished before I take it.
Yeah.
So it's not technically a pizza peel, but it's a very wide spatula.
It's interesting that you make it on the hot stone as opposed to putting it on like a breadboard with the stuff underneath. And then I, like an insane person, have been putting the cornmeal down and then I slide it and I put it on the stone, and I'm pretty good at it, but I've messed up a lot.
Isn't it better to just do it on the stone?
Why haven't I been doing that?
I don't know. I don't know. That's harder. But I mean, that's the way you see them do it at restaurants, but they have a big pizza peel, a big one.
Right.
And oftentimes they just slide it off right into the oven.
And I had one of those for a really long time, and that's how I used to do it. But the odds are, if you don't get the flick of the wrist right, you're going to really screw up.
Yeah, you tear the dough and all that stuff. Yeah, no, it's just easier to do it on, especially if you have somebody to help you lift the pizza dough right on there.
Right.
I have always done it right on the stone.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to change my mode on that one. Do you get bubbles in your crust during baking? Someone asks.
Mm-hmm, sometimes.
And they're really good.
And they're delicious.
Yeah.
Okay, let me put this up on the screen for you guys. This is the number, the switchboard number, 224-3121, for Congress. So you may call your senator and ask your senator to convict, impeach and convict. That's how you do it. There's a number, and it's super easy. You just put in your zip code, and you will be connected to your senator.
If there was ever a time, if you never had time to make a call to Washington, now is the time. And it's so easy. And as someone who's worked in government before,
really matter.
The calls, letters, and emails, they all matter because they look at that stuff. The representatives and senators really look at that stuff, and it makes a difference. So just do it.
Just do it. Yay. So there we go. We have IMPEACHZZA, and I will take a picture of it and post it with the recipe.
Thanks everybody for watching. I know how we said we were going to have big news, and maybe we'll have the big news on Friday.
Today.
It could be Friday. It could be a big announcement. Hopefully it will be.
But yeah, say a little whatever you do that we know tomorrow so we can tell y'all on Friday. It is coming. Coming attraction. Woo!
We're gonna make it. We're gonna make
it. We are gonna make it. Everybody, wear a mask. Stay safe. Thank you. Thank you. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That helps us a lot.
Tell your friends. Thank you.
Thank you.